Hello, beautiful people. Today is 12th of August. My name is Sahil and welcome to Newspaper Analysis. Friends, today in GS Fodder, we will take a quote from the Angus Deaton, who had won the Nobel Prize in Economic Sciences, and his writing pertains to inequality, poverty, global differences, etc. He says, without effective states working with active and involved citizens, there is little chance for the growth that is needed to abolish global poverty. Now, friends, this particular statement highlights the importance of consultative democracy. Now, till now, we had talked a lot about the representative democracy, but now we need to move one step further and into the direction of consultative democracy. Active involvement of the civil societies, NGOs, etc., is needed to be made because without involving the ground citizenry into the decision making, there cannot be an effective decision making. Now guys, this particular quote you can use into your GS paper number 2, GS paper number 3, as well as into the topics related to the essay. So guys, that's it, and now let's take the newspaper analysis. Now guys, first of all, let's take the overview of the entire newspaper first. Now here, the Russia has declared the world's first COVID-19 shot. So in that particular respect, we will see the issues with respect to the science and tech angle, as well as what impacts on India it will be making. Then guys, here you can see that the Supreme Court has ruled that daughters can now have equal right on property. So in this particular aspect, we will be seeing the issues. Then guys, Prime Minister saying that more testing is needed into the affected states. So nothing much important with respect to the paper has been given. Then guys, here you can see that from past so many days we are tracing the Jammu and Kashmir issue. We had seen that after the change of the status there was the suspension of the 4G. However, in limited capacity the 2G was restored, and for the again approval for the 4G, the petition was made, and even Supreme Court into the Anuradha Bhasin case ruled that 4G is the internet, good internet is a part of the right to life. However guys, still there was no 4G committee was constituted. All these things many a times we had seen, and finally J&K is getting the 4G access in a limited manner into the region where there is less insurgency. There it will be started, and case by case, if it goes well, then it will be extended to the other areas. However, just that's it which has came here. Then guys, moving forward, with respect to the city section, nothing important has been given. Now guys, just for the reference, you can use this particular thing. Into the past, we had seen that how India and Israel have involved into the medical diplomacy, where the Israel was providing much needed help to the India, and therefore in that direction only artificial based technology tools have been provided to India by the Israel. So just as a reference, you can use this particular thing. Then guys, moving forward, we can see that only the regional news has been there, not important for our paper. Then guys, directly we'll reach to the editorial page. Now this article is about the Indian secularism. Earlier also question on secularism have already been asked, so in that particular direction we'll be saying some things which are important. However, some political references have also been given. Will not be going into that particular line because not important. Then guys, Rajasthan lessons, it talks about the truce that has came between the Congress and how they should work so that the other political parties and etc benefit is not taken. Guys, not important for our exam. Now this particular article talks about the population data, and in that particular respect we will be seeing certain references from IHME as well as the United Nations could be used into your answer. After that guys, this particular article is talking about the recent marine issue, where the permanent court of arbitration said that Italy has the jurisdiction onto the marines, but now Supreme Court is saying that will not close the case. So guys, it has been said that Supreme Court, so such insistence is not necessary right now because anyhow the jurisdiction is not with us. However guys, some much important substance has not been given. Then guys, this is an excerpt from a book by the Yogendra Yadav. So if you have some political interest, you can read this particular thing. However, much references with respect to the power politics of BJP, Congress, etc has been given, not directly important for our exam. Then guys, this article talks about the efforts taken for the gender sensitization. Some 5-6 points directly important for our exam has been given. Then guys, regional news, you can see not important for our exam. Then moving So here you can see that Rajya Sabha output has been mentioned. So with respect to the productivity of parliament, we can use certain references from here. Then guys, daughters have equal right to inherent property. We will be seeing this particular thing. Then showcase page, not important for our exam. After that guys, on world page also, the news with respect to the conflict etc all has been given. Again, the Russia news with respect to the vaccine has been provided here. Then guys, onto the business page, debt revamp plan has been questioned, and in that particular respect certain concerns have been raised. So here evergreening etc we will be seeing this particular thing. Then guys, sports page, nothing important for our paper. So that's it guys. Now let's take the analysis into detail. Now friends, starting up. So first news here we can see is with respect to the ancestral property rights which have been given to the daughters. Now guys, before going into this particular news, I will give you a brief background first. Now friends, into the ancestral property or into the property of the father, the son has been given the right, and such a right has been given by the Hindu Succession Act of 1956. Now, this particular act is based on to the Mitakshara school of Hindu law. According to this school, it is said that the moment a son is born, he gets the right into the ancestral property. And even when the father is alive, the son can claim the legal right into the property. So, male was recognized as a legal here. However, with respect to the women right into the property, there was nothing mentioned here very clearly. Therefore, what happened? The Hindu Succession Amendment Act of 2005 was passed, and there into the section number 6 it was provided that women are also being given the co-partnership. Now, co-partnership means the equal right, equal legal right into the ancestral property. So, in a nutshell, women were given the joint legal right into the property or co-partnership. Now, a question comes here that what if a father died before 2005? What if the daughter was born before 2005? Do these benefits are given after the 2005 or they are also available into the matters which were there before 2005? In this particular matter, see, there were certain conflicting positions. For example, into the Prakash versus Fulvati case, it was said that no, all these benefits will be given only after the 2005. However, in 2018, it was again ruled that all these rights will be provided retrospectively also before 2005 also. And even the high courts also made some conflicting position. So there was a kind of a confusion in this particular matter. And now what has happened? Supreme Court has ruled that daughters have equal right to inherit property even before 2005. So retrospectively also the women have been given the co-partnership, and it is a really monumental moment for the equality for the women. So guys, this is the entire issue. However, if you have sociology as an optional, then I will recommend that please go in deeper details with respect to the Mitakshara school. And apart from Mitakshara school, there is also the Daya Bhag school, which is prevalent into the particularly Assam and Bengal region. Also do read about the Daya Bhag school, and there are various other judgments also with respect to the Karta rights, HUF rights. So please do read them also, only if you have the sociology as a optional. So guys, that's all about this particular issue. Now we'll go to the next article. Now, friends, here you can see that the Russia had declared world's first COVID-19 drug shot. Now, guys, in this particular thing, we need to see three things. First of all, the science and tech angle. Second, the regulatory phase. And third, how in India such a thing will be making an impact. Now, first of all, the drug has been named as Sputnik 5 just as a reminiscence to show the world that as Russia was into the front race during the Cold War in the space race, into the medical race also, the Russia had achieved a feat. So therefore it has been named as Sputnik 5 after the series of artificial satellites which were launched by Russia. Now guys, what is the mechanism of this particular drug? So this drug ignites immunogenicity into the human body. Now, immunogenicity means that they will artificially trick your immune system and will deploy it even before the real coronavirus takes entry into your body. Now, what has happened into this drug? They had taken two serotype S antigen. So S antigen is some foreign substance. When it enters into the body, it tricks the immune system. So these two antigens have been taken from the human adenovirus, and the makeup of these S antigens from human adenovirus, it is similar to the spike proteins that is onto the SARS-CoV-2 virus. So when they will enter, our immune response will be ignited, and in future, if the real SARS-CoV-2 encounters, we will be able to fight it off. Now, the principle which has been utilized, it is fine, and even into the UK, the Oxford drug is also being made onto the similar principle. The issue is this, that Russia has given very much expedited approval to this entire drug. See, first of all, whenever a drug is developed, it goes into the preclinical stage where it sees the toxicity levels and it is tested onto the animals. After that, it enters into the human trial where it has to pass from three phases of human trial, and then the drug will be given the approval. And even after that, the phase 4 trial will continue for years, in which even the people who had received the drug, they will be observed, and this goes for a pretty long time. So guys, however, anyhow, before a final approval, three stages are there. Now, what has happened? The stage 1 and the phase 2, they have been completed within less than 2 months, and even the phase 3 trial has not begun, and they had declared it as a COVID-19 drug. This phase 3 will now begin. So question comes that how do we know that actually this drug is safe to use? So it has been said that it is a kind of a self-boasting at the end of Russia, because in this way, then there are so many countries which can also declare as the first drug for the COVID-19. Now guys, this drug right now will be having a limited use, will be given to the frontline health workers only. And even in that capacity also, Russia is not first, because China's Can Sinobiologics had already approved a drug, and such a drug is also being used into the limited purposes onto the People's Liberation Army of China's soldiers. Now guys, the impact onto the India. See, Russia has a very limited capacity with respect to the production of the drugs, and India is the world's largest drug manufacturer. So there could be a thing that drug might come to India also. But if it comes to India, there are two things. First of all, if it is used to be in India, then the Central Drug Standards Control Organization need to give its own approval. Now, CDSCO can give approval in two ways. First of all, it can conduct the late human trials, in which the phase 2 and phase 3 trial are conducted together and expedite approval is given. So this particular approach is being used for the Chedox 1 drug, which is being developed by the United Kingdom. So, and the trials will begin in this coming week. Second way is that in some exceptional cases, the CDSU can give approval even without the late human trials, and such an approval has already been given to the remdesivir drug. But guys, such a thing was possible here. Why? Because remdesivir is not entirely a new drug. It was made in 2009 to treat the hepatitis C. Then it was repurposed to treat the Ebola, and now it is being repurposed to treat the COVID-19. So it is a pretty old drug. But into the Russian example, the entire process has not been very clear, transparent, and even their trials in phase 1 and 2 has been rushed so much that India might not be giving an approval to this particular thing. However, as times to come, we need to see this particular thing. So guys, this is in entire sense, and now we'll move to next. Now friends, we are into the editorial section, and this first editorial talks about the future of Indian secularism. Now friends, secularism happens to be the nerve of democracies around the world, and therefore in India also we adopted secularism. For example, in fundamental rights article number 25 to 28, the freedom for religion has been given, which implicitly hints towards the secularism. And into the preamble also explicitly secularism has been provided after the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. Now guys, into the present times, two questions are coming. First, whether the secularism in India has died into the present times. But a second question which comes is more important. It asks, can ever the secularism die in India? So, guys, in this particular direction, we will be carrying an introspection. Now, in India, we have adopted the constitutional secularism, and it has two hallmarks. First is there is will be certain relation with the religion. Now, first of all, a question arises, why anyhow relation is needed? Because in India, the social life and religious life of people cannot be separated. The religion is very much part of the social life, and therefore to regularize their social life, the participation in religion also needs to be taken. So therefore we have adopted respect for all religion, not one, not two, for all the religion. Secondly, guys, there is the notion of no strict separation. Usually secularism lies onto the strict separation, but now in India, we follow the principled distance. It means that as far as possible, there will be no interference, but when the things will go out of hand, there can be an interference, and that will be the constructive interference. For example, in India, when the kind of caste discrimination is going on, government interfered. Even into the Islamism, the triple talaq, etc., has been delegitimized by the interference of the state. So in religious matters, whenever the kind of a social discrimination and a social discord will come, the government will participate. Now, guys, constitutional secularism which we had adopted is not only run by the government, rather it is sustained by the collective commitment of all the people. Then it runs by the impartial judiciary, civil societies, and at the last the government comes. Now, guys, what has happened? Now, in the last 40 years, one new flavor of secularism is coming in India, and that is party political secularism, where the core values such as the principled distance have been replaced by the opportunistic distance. So here, just onto the electoral benefit, the politics will be making its relation with the religion. When they find that it is beneficial to engage into the religious dialogue, it will come. Otherwise, it will be doing something else. Now, guys, earlier the hallmark of secularism was the critical respect for the religion. It means that we value your religion, but whenever it goes out of some kind of a social sanction, we will criticize. But now it has turned into the blatant respect. Even the wrong things are being respected because they are being followed by the majoritarianism, and governments are now cutting the deal. There are certain examples. See, for example, when the Shah Bano judgment came, at that point of time, the Congress government rejected that judgment even for the welfare of the women. Why? Because they did not wanted to infuriate the Muslim community. And the similar thing happened, that now the present government is taking so much of interest into the Ayodhya deal. Why? Because they now want the majoritarian vote bank. So all the political parties, the religion is being used and abused for the political gains. Guys, what happened just few years back, the politico-religious relations were onto the based of the minority-majority binary. Many a times when the benefit was in taking the side of the minority, the political party switched there. Many a times when it was into the favor of majority, political parties took the stand in favor of majority. But what has happened from past few years, only when the majoritarian party came into the power, the respect for all religion has been changed to the respect for the majority religion. Whatever the majority religion does, you can't deny it, you can't question it, you can't raise your doubts, you can't raise your kind of reservations. You just have to blindly follow. And in this direction, it is being said that is it a death of the Indian secularism, or simply it is a setback and secularism will be coming back? So, guys, in this particular direction, right now, certain prescriptions have been given that what should be done. See, now it is a time that rather than politics, people should start a socially led movement for justice, so that all the religious communities get their due place into the Indian democracy. Secondly, it has also been said that into the present times, there should be emphasis on the intra-religious issues within the religion. Now, guys, we'll understand this thing in a better way. See, according to B.R. Ambedkar, it says that when in a nation two dominant religions are there, and when both are fighting with each other, so they assume a kind of a majority and minority binary. So both of them are into the contention. But what happens when this kind of revolt increases so much? Then a minority religion takes a silent exit, and they then live onto the sidelines. They don't participate into the major matters and all these kind of things. And in such a way, many a times the internal voice, the internal conflict also dies, because they had received the setback. And in such a situation, what happens? The inter reform movement, etc., which are going, they also die. Now the same thing has happened in India also with respect to the one religion, and this could be a scene when the inter reforms will also die. But it has been said that no, rather, if conscious efforts are taken, then it can also be turned into an opportunity. People might now be more made inclined to think about their internal reform, as now they will get more time to look into these kind of matters. When earlier they were locked into the inter-religious matters, that time the time was not there, but now it can be looked. And the same thing should be taken into India also. Now this particular thing will give the confidence and will bring the social reform, and such thing has happened around the world. For example, in Europe, when the fight for securing the secularism was going on at that point of time, into the sidelines of the religious battles, internal reforms were also carried. So now the minority religions of India should work onto the internal reforms, and onto the sideline there should be a socially led justice movement also, which can raise them to their equal ground into the front of the majoritarian religion. So friends, these are the key takeaways with respect to the secularism which had came. So that's it. Now we'll move to next. Now guys, this particular article throws some light onto the population projection data for India, and could be important for our society in GS paper number 1. Now, guys, just a few days back, there was a research published into the reputed health journal Lancet, and this research was by the Institute of Health Metrics and Evaluation based in US. It has said that India will become the highest populous country, and India's population will reach peak up to 2050. Now, guys, this particular thing has not only said by the Institute of Health Metrics and Evaluation, it has also been affirmed by the United Nations. According to IHME, we will be having 1.64 billion population by 2050, and according to UN, 1.61 billion by 2048. So here both are same. But when we go beyond, then it has been said by the IHME that by 2100, or by the turn of the century, the trends will change for India, and India's population will go down to 1.09 billion. It will be even lower as we are today. Today we have nearly 1.335 billion population. And it has been said that women, the total fertility rate will go down to 1.29 children. Now, guys, total fertility rate of 2.1 is considered as the replacement rate. It means that when the couple, husband and wife, will die, they will be leaving the equivalent number of children as they are going. So the population will get stagnant. But below this thing, it has been said that population will decline. And as we are on 1.29, obviously the population will go down. Now, guys, at the same time, if the total fertility rate of US we see, then it will be 1.53, and for France it will be 1.78. It shows that actually the women in US and France will be more considerate in raising the children than women into the India. Now, it might sound a little bit unusual given the present situation, but that thing can well happen. There are certain data to substantiate that thing. See, in 1950, the total fertility rate was nearly 5.9. It means that every woman was giving birth to 6 children. But till 2015, it reduced drastically to 2.2, and right now 18 states and union territories are having even less than 2. So in that particular direction, all these estimates might be turning out around true. Moreover, see, all this rate is going down even when there are no forced efforts. In 1994, there was a Cairo Conference on Population and Development which said that no country will give the targets to the doctors and health professional in order to reduce the population because it leads to forced sterilization, such kind of things. So we had also dropped, and even after dropping this, the population is declining. Now, guys, it has been said that what could be the reasons for the decline into the total fertility rate in India. First of all, it has been said that now the proportion of agriculture into the economy has substantially come down, and as earlier the farmers always thought that more children will mean more resource, but now that thinking has changed. Now people are receiving more education and are finding employment into the MNCs, private sector, public sector, and there they think that rather having less number of children will be beneficial, as they can devote better on his coaching, on his education, and all these kind of thing. So guys, now what is happening, people's kind of priorities with respect to child are also changing. Thirdly, the contraception is being seen more favorably now, and now more women are going for the contraception, and they are controlling their reproductive fertility. So guys, because of these particular things, all such kind of things are changing. Now the issue comes, as we are going into such kind of trajectory, it is high time that government brings much needed reforms to tame our demography, to tame our population. They should be provided better health, better education, better vocational training, so that the rising population window that we will see by 2050, we can reap it. On that basis, we can build our economy and can reap the benefits. So guys, that's all about this particular article. Some data which has been given could be crucially utilized into your GS papers as well as in essay. So that's it. Now we'll move to next. Now friends, this particular article talks about certain movements or certain steps which has been taken in order to sensitize the male members as well as teenagers of the society against the sexism that is opposed against the girls. So guys, just few days back we had seen that from the social media website Instagram, the images of the girls were taken and they were morphed and uploaded onto the pornographic sites, and many a times the sharing of the girls pictures, they happen into the bad taste, and this particular thing just invites some peculiar kind of responses, that is the deactivation of the accounts or deletion of photos. But this is not the response against such kind of attitude. This attitude shows some deep rooted problems into the societal setup. Now guys, there have been the violent movement against such kind of activities, such as the right girl movement, which started into the US, as well as there are the assertion movements also. For example, Me Too movement, which also started and which was very much popular. But guys, these movements also are not response, and therefore we still need a deep rooted sensitization with respect to the gender differences. And in this particular respect, certain examples have been given into this article which you can directly use into your answers. Now guys, first of all, into the pandemic, National Commission for Women had highlighted the surge of domestic violence also along with these kind of problems, and it has given popularity to a term, that is a silent pandemic which women are seeing. Now guys, coming to the steps which has been taken. So first of all, the UNESCO, UNICEF, UN Women, UNFPA, and South Asia Foundation had made a documentary movie, Listen to Her, where the gender sensitization is being aimed at. Second step is that the UNESCO as well as NCRT has developed the Safe Online Learning in Times of COVID-19 manual, which educates the girls with respect to issues of cyberbullying, cyber stalking, etc. After that, there is Action for Equality program, which has been taken by the Equal Community Foundation. And as a part of this particular initiative, more than 130 educators have been trained as how they can teach the gender equality to young boys, how they can instill gender sensitization into the young minds, so that into the times to come they don't perpetuate such kind of sexist behavior against the women. Then guys, it has also been said that there, apart from this, there also needs to be the school related gender based violence programs, and into the schools as a part of curriculum the gender based issues should be discussed, so that out of locker room they can move into the mainstream classroom. Though in this particular direction the new education policy 2020 holds great promise, however implementation is still a question. So we need to bring more such kind of initiatives which can actually bring the constructive change into the society. So guys, that's all about this particular article, and these references you can use into GS paper number 4 as well as GS paper number 2. That's it. Now we'll move to next. Now guys, this particular news provides some data which we can use in GS paper number 2 with respect to the answers on to the functioning of parliament. Now, the report with respect to the Rajya Sabha's functioning has been issued, and here it has been said that for the first time, the committees of the Rajya Sabha, they have seen the attendance over 50% mark, and therefore it is a very good achievement. Moreover, guys, with respect to the productivity, it has been said that it is constantly declining over last 25 years. For example, the 100% productivity was noted in 1999, and since then it is declining. However, in last 3 years, the productivity of 65.5% has been noted. So it is also a good achievement. And in last 3 years, again, the 93 bills have been passed by the Rajya Sabha, and therefore it is a positive thing, because many a times Rajya Sabha has often been called as an obstructionist house, and it has been said that it blocks the key legislations. So therefore, many times the suggestion has also been made that Rajya Sabha's power either should be reduced or it should overall be abandoned as a second house. But guys, these data provide some good insights against that particular thing, so you can use it as a reference. That's it. Now we'll move to next. Now guys, here we can see that certain observation has been made by the Fitch, which happens to be a renowned rating agency. Now guys, if you remember, just a couple of days back we had seen that the RBI has reviewed the monetary policy, and there certain suggestions were made. And there a suggestion was made by the Reserve Bank of India that banks can restructure the corporate loans as well as the other loans. Now, this particular thing was said because we know that COVID 19 has brought an economic slowdown, and now the companies as well as the people who have taken personal loans, they are in no capacity to pay back their installment, their interest, or their principal. So, it was said that restructure the loan, provide them more time, flexible interest rate, and all such kind of thing. Now, all such arrangement was justified by the RBI, because see, if such an arrangement or flexibility will not be given, then the number of NPAs or the bad loans will increase. And if we see the present condition, then in India, $120 billion worth of bad loans are there, and we are third worst in the comparison of the 13 major world economies, and it shows that our banking sector is under pressure. But guys, the Fitch has noted that such kind of thing will not be bringing any respite. Rather, this thing is bad to do into this particular time. In 2010 to 2016 also, such a flexibility was given by the RBI, and it only increased the bad assets or non-performing assets for the bank. Actually, what happens when such kind of flexibility is given, the banks goes into the practice of the evergreening, and in evergreening even more loan is provided to the corporates as well as the people, so that they can stand themselves again and can pay back the entire money, the new money as well as the old money. And the same thing happened with the Kingfisher also, where via evergreening so much of loan was given and it accumulated. So guys, it has been said that this evergreening will start again, and ultimately the asset quality will further deteriorate. So this could be an argument against the RBI's recommendation of the monetary policy. So please keep it in your mind. We can use it into some answers. So friends, that's all about this particular thing. And now we'll move to the question section. Friends, please pause the video and try to answer the question. So first question is with respect to the Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. Please read the statement and identify the correct code. Question number 2 is with respect to the National Infrastructure Pipeline. Please read the statement and identify the incorrect code. Now, question number 3 is with respect to the biofuels. Please read the statement and identify the correct code. Question number 4 is with respect to the geothermal energy. Please read the statement and identify the correct code. Now the main question for today. So question says that secularism has been a hallmark of progressive democracies around the world. Explore notions of Indian secularism and provide as how it is different from Western model of secularism. So guys, it is a 10 marker question and pertains to GS paper number 1. So that's it guys. I hope you are liking our discussion. Thank you so much.